Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing great. So in today's class, under the chapter Control and Coordination, let us learn the topic about human brain. In your previous class, you have learned that the central nervous system comprises of brain and spinal cord. You have learned a lot about the spinal cord in your previous class. Now, is only the spinal cord required for all the activities which we perform? The answer is no. The entire nervous system has brain and spinal cord, so even the brain has its work to perform. So let us learn about brain. Students, the brain is one of the highest coordinating center in the body. That means it's the master of the body which controls all our actions. The brain is very delicate. Then, how is this brain protected? Look here, students. The brain is protected by the bony box, the skull, which is also called as cranium. So this is the cranium. And when you cut open the cranium, you will be able to see how safely the brain is situated. Along with this, it has a fluid-filled balloon, a layer of fluid-filled balloon which protects the brain from shocks. So these are the two ways how our brain is protected. Now look at these actions, students, like the talking, running, writing, moving chair or clapping. All these are some of the voluntary actions. But when to talk, when to run, how to write and when to write, when to move the chair and when you're supposed to clap, who is deciding all these? So who decides to do what to do next? So it's none other than the brain. So all our actions are controlled by the brain. So students, the brain sends the messages to our muscles and tells us when to run, when to walk, when to talk. Then how is this happening? Let us try to understand. Students, you must be aware about the peripheral nervous system. So what happens is that the brain has the cranial nerves which is coming out from the brain and the spinal nerves which is coming out from the spinal cord. So here you can see this is the down part of the brain. From that there are various nerves arising, and that is your cranial nerves. And the spinal nerves are arising from the spinal cord. You have learnt a lot about this. Now let us see what this cranial nerves will do. Okay, these cranial nerves has its own regions. Got it? So the brain is allowing us to think, and after thinking, how we are supposed to respond. So this is done by all the nerves which is present in the brain. And to do these actions, there are various parts in the brain. So these parts will help us to take the inputs, and the brain will decide what output to be given. Let us quickly see what are those three major parts or the regions. So this is the structure of brain. The brain has the forebrain. This is the top one which you are able to see. This is the forebrain. And the middle one here in the center, that is the midbrain. Clear? And coming to this down one which is behind, this is your hind brain. These parts are further comprises of few other regions. Let me quickly tell you all. So this is your forebrain. This forebrain has the cerebrum. It comprises of the cerebrum. This entire region is the cerebrum. Now here is the midbrain. Midbrain has no other parts in it. Coming to your hindbrain, here is the hindbrain. You can see this part, entire thing is a hindbrain, where it has the pons. This region is the pons, and this region which is attached to the pons is the medulla, and this structure which you are able to see here is the cerebellum. I will try to explain you by showing you in the 3D diagram. Look here, students. So this entire part over here which you are able to see, this entire region is the forebrain, and this forebrain is comprising of the cerebrum. This is a cerebrum, and when I just twist it down, look here, this region, the below one, this entire region is the hindbrain. So hindbrain is having the cerebellum, and let me just tilt it a little more this side. Okay, it has the pons and the medulla. I hope it's clear. Now midbrain is not visible over here. For that you have here, for that you have to take a section of this brain. So this is the section of the brain. Look at this. This is how the section, this is the left part, and here you can see the midbrain. Look here, this is the midbrain over here, and again here it has a pons, medulla, and this is your cerebellum. I hope the 3D view has helped you to understand the various parts of the brain.